Hello everybody and welcome to the Industrial Control Systems Log Monitoring with NXLog Enterprise Edition webinar. My name is Rafał Kubowski. I'm a technology evangelist at NXLog and I will host this webinar. And besides me, we have also some other NXLog colleagues, just in case we need any help. We're meeting today to discuss the importance of log collection process in industrial control systems. We will talk about security and other risks related to ICS and SCADA systems and explore the ways how can we help with these processes using NXLog Enterprise Edition. At the end of our meeting, we'll pick up several questions which we're going to try to answer, and with respect to the questions, there are two ways you can ask them. So if anything pops out in the meantime, please just post your question into the chat. And the other way, just in case you will need to leave us, you can place them in MS Forms, which link I suppose is already placed in the chat. So please feel free to post them either way you wish. And just for your information, this meeting is being recorded, and the record is going to be sent to all the registered participants. So ICS infrastructure is present not only in manufacturing facilities, but also in other places like water plants, power facilities, or building automation solutions. These systems are nowadays widely connected to the internet, what makes them exposed to cybersecurity breaches in the same way as other parts of the IT infrastructure. Therefore, the reasons to monitor their logs are not that different than in case of the ordinary IT infrastructure. So we can find many different reasons how should we collect those logs, but let's just briefly discuss the most important of them. So we should probably mention the compliance requirements, since law regulations of different institutions obligate us to introduce mechanisms to ensure the safety of infrastructure operations, and of course logs are in the very roots of safety processes. We should probably mention also incident detection with some emphasis on real-time response. So in order to detect incidents, we of course need to have reliable log collection process, since logs are crucial source for incident identification. And employing those logs with different security monitoring tools can give us a chance to build workflows to respond to incidents in the shortest possible time. Not less important is forensic analysis. Whatever we do, sometimes it unfortunately still happens that we lose and some sort of security breaches appear. In this case, it is very important to have the opportunity to look back and analyze what happened, just to be sure that we have excluded the reason of the breach. And for probably a little bit less cybersecurity topic like troubleshooting, if anything fails in our system, the right set of logs can help us in root cause analysis, and this can significantly improve the fixing or avoiding issues process. When we talk about the cybersecurity aspects, we can't ignore the numbers. Different cybersecurity organizations provide different statistics due to differences in methodology and different focus or coverage of the markets. Nevertheless, the fact is that ICS infrastructure is being an increasingly significant target of cyber attacks. When we take a look at the report provided by Kaspersky for the first half of 2021, they claim that almost 34% of ICS computers were attacked. If we compare this data with other reports, we can get the impression that this number is sort of conservative, because other resources claim that this number is even above 60%. But even staying on this relatively low level of this conservative number, we see that this problem is indeed something that we simply can't deny. And what is of course still not surprising, the internet is a main vector of most of those attacks. I'm quite convenient that all of us are aware of the most, let's call them, famous security breaches that happened last years. So just to mention two examples of Tampa Bay water plant breach, where the water has been contaminated, or Ukrainian power plant breach, which left over 250,000 of citizens without power, and at least the second one was quite hard to fix, since the proper procedures and tools weren't in place, and they required a lot of investigation from engineers. But cybersecurity and cybersecurity breaches is not the only reason to collect logs from ICS. Not less important is the possibility to improve infrastructure management, and thanks to well-prepared log workflow, we can optimize the processes quite conveniently. And for the disaster prevention, if we build our log collection in a proper way, we're going to be able to detect any failures or possible failures before it happens, or identify them much faster than in traditional way when we need to have access to the infrastructure itself. So at NXLog, we can help in some or in most of those processes, and probably in many other ways that we simply won't be able to mention today, because our products focus on the log collection market. So everything what we do has one main goal, just to provide reliable log collection from all possible sources and make it easy to use without too big burden. So just to mention three of our most important products. The most important is NXLog Enterprise Edition, on which we're gonna spend a couple of minutes in a second. But also we provide NXLog Manager, which is NXLog Enterprise Edition Agents management tool, which lets you monitor the health and manage configurations of your NXLog agents. But also we provide Rygin, which is a versatile schemaless SQL database, which is available for free. NXLog Enterprise Edition is a multi-platform and lightweight tool. It means that it can be natively run on most of major operating systems, including Linuxes of different flavors, Windows system, Mac OS, Unix, and so on, using a really reasonable amount of resources. It is capable of handling different file formats and capable of sending them as well as receiving through different protocols. We offer superb log processing capabilities, and it means that even the most often filtering process can be implemented in very, very sophisticated ways, and this can make your log pipeline much more efficient. And if by any chance you will miss any capability, any functionality inside out of the box, we provide programming languages interfaces, thanks to which you can simply plug your own software or script directly into log pipeline, making it extremely customizable and working exactly the way you would like. But let's step back for a while. Let's consider a typical elements that we can find in ICS infrastructure. Of course, if we compare the complexity and the diversity in comparison to typical IT infrastructure, we can see that this segmentation here is much larger. So besides traditional servers, something that we might consider as just computers, we have a lot of different devices like HMIs, like PLCs, like sensors and actuators, and all of these parts, basically besides the data that is useful for the process which the system supervise, may generate data which can be considered as a logs, which could be used to monitor the health status of the device itself or the supervised processes. Unfortunately, right now, in majority of implementations, the logs, so the source of information about every detail of the infrastructural health, are not commonly gathered. The situation is quite good with servers on which some regular software sometimes is running, and the logs are stored somehow, but still in most cases this is local storing, which makes a lot of monitoring tasks much more difficult, because it requires direct access to those machines, and those logs are not really anyhow used outside. So as we realize, there's a lot of different sources of logs that we can focus on and that may be useful. Due to this enormous diversity, typically SCADA or ICS system implementation consists of a very specific mixture of different logs. So from the most important, we should probably include Windows event log entries. Still, Windows is the major system which controls the ICS systems. We can distinguish also file-based logs. So a lot of software generates different files, like debug files, like changelogs, like even status files, and this is very useful. This might be a very useful source of information. Some ICS systems use database engines to store their information, and here we can not only control the health status of the database itself, but what is probably most important, we can directly grab the ICS generated logs from the databases and push them forward to any monitoring tool. And yet something what so far has been basically impossible. I mean here passive network monitoring. So listening and capturing the network traffic in order to use it in a health diagnostic of the system. As you are aware, the network packets that are generated by most devices are in binary format, and this format is not human readable, so it requires some sort of decoding in order to gain some visibility on what's going on. And of course, this process, this decoding of binary packets into something readable, is a crucial to use them with traditional security monitoring tools. So thanks to implemented IM pickup module, which is present in NXLog, you can basically plug NXLog into the network, listen to the packets, decode them on the fly, and push them to your favorite security monitoring tool. We're going to talk about it in a second. So right now, with a proper configuration and some prior knowledge on what we would like to monitor in our network, it is possible to treat the binary network data exactly in the same way as we treat logs from servers, from software, from operating systems, and so on. This brings the possibility to build a unified security control workflow. What is really a nice feature of this passive network monitoring is that this module is, as we call it, passive. It is entirely passive. So it means that if we plug NXLog into the network, it will listen to the packets, it will analyze and do the operations that we expect without impacting the whole infrastructure in a way what is, of course, extremely important for the control systems. And just in case anybody misses it, here we have a shot from commonly known and used till Wireshark, and on the bottom there is one of the pockets in the original format, so that's binary. At least I'm not capable of deciphering what's going on there. And on the top we have a translated frame. So even if we're not keen on certain protocol, this information are definitely more human readable. And with some planning, we can use this data to build a security framework in our infrastructure. So one quick example for those of you who are aware how NXLog works and how does the configuration file look like. Quick example so here in these 21 lines, that is everything you need to configure, in this case S7com packets monitoring. So quickly explaining what's going on. First section is extension section. So here we import external module which is called XM-JSON, and this brings us simply JSON files operating capabilities. Then from the line 5 to 12 we declare our input. We like the convention that the configuration is self-explainable. So also we try to keep naming in the self-explainable way. So the name of this input is simply pickup. We want to use module which is called IM pickup, so there's no surprise. We declare which protocol we want to listen to, and in this case we have S7com. We point a file to which the network traffic is being captured, and here thanks to this directive exec to JSON, we simply tell the NXLog agent that you want to get results in JSON format. Next we have output declaration, which is yet simpler. We just say that we want to use a file, we point this file, and we connect input and output through something that at NXLog configuration we call routes. And we simply describe here that we want to take data from input and push them to the output. So we gather pickup data, convert them to JSON, and put them, in this case, to the file. And of course, this can be any place that you can imagine. So you can send it to a remote server using TCP or UDP or anything that is desired in your case. So just a quick example here. That is a part of single S7com frame translated to JSON. And of course, there's still lots of data, but this data is easily parsable by most of the tools. Yeah, so right now, let's get back to our architecture scheme and see how can we improve the whole situation. So here we still consider the 4 major logs group right now, but we can see if we plug in to the servers, we get informations from the files from different part of the software, and this is implemented in IM file module of NXLog. We get data from ODBC, so this means that we directly catch everything what we want from databases. We control Windows event log. So in this way, we can control the Windows controlling our infrastructure, but also some important parts of the ICS software. And here, directly connected to the network. We have IM pickup listening, and all of these files can be handled by a single NXLog Enterprise Edition agent. It can be processed and sent to the desired tool. It can be the CM, SOAR, or any other monitoring tool that you'd like to use. And thanks to that, you can basically build a system which is going to be as bulletproof as it is possible using only software. So right now we have implemented several different industrial focused protocols. So S7COM is on the board, Modbus, TCP, DNP3, Profinet, and several more. What is also important, the number of protocols itself is of course bigger, and besides the purely industrial ones, you can find protocols like DNS or Ethernet. So you can, in the same way, monitor your more common parameters of a system. And besides the parts of the software, so the input modules and something that you can consider as a puzzles or more bricks from which you would be able to build your own customized implementation, we prepared several SCADA integrations. And it means that our engineers took these four SCADA systems. They analyzed the architecture, analyzed the log types that can be explored, and prepared ready-to-use documentation how to implement log collection from these systems using NXLog. Since it's a definitely quite complex process, not on basically mostly from the perspective of the diversity of sources and of types of the logs, this is quite nice solution, since our engineers simply provided parts of configuration that you can directly copy paste or just customize to your actual requirements. And of course, if there's any solution that is missing here, and there's a lot of course of them, this is a good example which shows, at least can point out some directions where can we start with building ICS based log collection tool. So just to not make you sleepy, we'll discuss just one of those implementations. So in particular, Citect SCADA has implemented 3 different types of logs, and there are of course different kinds in those types. Nevertheless, the integration right now uses Windows event log. So here, Citect SCADA simply leaves a lot of useful information in the Windows event log. File-based logs, there's a whole list of Citect SCADA parts which create some sort of file-based logs, and this also can be used in building log collection pipeline. And this particular SCADA solution uses 4 different protocols, industrial protocols. So there is Modbus, BACnet, DNP3, and IEC. And of course, all these materials are always available on our websites. So even if you're just curious what's under the hood, I really encourage you to take a look, because that's really amazing work of those guys. So also, if you'd like to check if this works well for you, or check some details on the product itself, because I'm quite convenient that besides those parts of the software that we have somehow determined to be most useful, you're gonna find a lot of interesting features that can make your lives much easier. So I encourage you just to download a trial and just check it by yourself, and I'm sure that our pre-sales engineers will be really happy to help you with this process. Also, our documentation, which is quite overwhelming, it's probably now 2,500 of pages. There's a lot of interesting cases in integrations, in general, in good practice, in log collection, and what is really nice, it's full of ready-to-use examples to implement everywhere. And of course, if you decide would like to go further with the implementation and you would need some help, we can bring you some engineers to help your implementation process. So yeah, I really encourage you to at least check the user guide and check our examples, because there's a lot of fun stuff inside.